Welcome to McBain Manor Entropians, Julian McBain here, and today I am going to do an intro for future players of Entropia Universe on what Entropia Universe is, because I know that a lot of people come to my channel to watch my gameplay, they listen to my think pieces, but there are a lot of people who, might watch my one-player stuff like Borderlands or We Happy Few and have no clue what this is other than, some sort of sci-fi MMO, and so I just wanted to go into kind of an intro as to what Entropia Universe is, and as literally what Entropia Universe is, and what kind of a game that it is, and why so many of us are addicted to it. So, for all of you who are not Entropians yet, Entropia Universe is an MMO RPG that was started on the 30th of January 2003. So this game is actually older than Second Life and World of Warcraft. Now let that sink in for a second. It was developed by Mindark AB, which is a Swedish company based, I think it's in Gothenburg, and I'm probably mispronouncing that horribly because I can't speak Swedish to save my life. But they've been running this game for over 16 years rather successfully. It's got, I think the last I checked, it was at like 1.1, 1.2 million active players, which, considering the size of the world, isn't a huge amount, but that's a good player base. What really makes Entropia Universe unique, however, is that it's a real cash economy. And I believe they were the first ones to develop a real cash economy game. So you can actually put money into the game, you can use it to buy goods, or you can go to the web shop and buy ammo, and you can then later on, you can get loot, and then you can later pull money out of the game. Now there is a delay between when you ask for the withdrawal and when you get it. It's usually a couple of months, keeping in mind that Mindark has to have some sort of a mechanism with which to keep the money rolling. And so it does take them some time to get money back to you, but if you withdraw from the game, you will get money. And so the economy inside of the game is 100% player, well, not 100%, like 99% player driven. There are things you can buy from what we call a trade terminal. It's basically a vendor, but they're all very basic. You're not going to get high-level stuff out of the trade terminal. You're going to get a very basic gun or a very basic sword or a very basic knife. And so the economy itself and all of the things in the economy are, generally speaking, player-driven. So you've got people who go in, they'll buy materials off of people who hunt. So let's actually kind of try not to do chicken before the egg. You'll have players like me who do a lot of hunting, right? I do all kinds of hunting. And I do hunting in order to get better skills, in order to farm materials. I can get, a lot of this is from the Mayhem event, which I'll be describing later, but off of these robots you can get oil. You can also mine for oil. I'll get into that here in just a minute. But you go out and you look for materials, and you've got hunters who hunt mobs for materials, you've got miners who try to drill them out of the ground. And there are different types of things you can mine, such as ores, which are, well, they're exactly what they say they are. They're ores, rocks that have value to them and can be used in crafting. End matters, which are your, literally energy matter, so oils, fuels of any sort, a lot of things that work for Mind Force, which is kind of the magic of the game, basically a type of psychic energy. And then crafters can take those and they create things out of them, like the guns that you use, the armors that you wear. So like in my inventory, this is ghost armor, 100% player crafted. Without a player to craft that, I would not have that armor. Same with Vigilante. This is a prize armor I would later find out from another planet partner. And I'll get into them in here in a little bit. So it's a 100. It's essentially a player-driven economy. It's all done by microtransactions. So the currency of the day is the Project Entropia dollar. Project Entropia was the original name of the game. It would later become Entropia Universe. Project Entropia dollars are pegged to the US dollar on a 10-to-1 ratio. That means for every 10 Project Entropia dollars, you get 1 US dollar and vice versa. And so if you put, you can deposit into the game. If you put $10 in, that wasn't the mob I wanted to shoot, that's okay. If you put $10 in, you will get 100 Project Entropia dollars, also known as PEDs or PED. If you watch my other videos, that's what I mean when I say PED. And you use that money to buy what you need in the game. You can use it to buy ammo, you can use it to buy guns, swords. I'm primarily a melee player, as I'm sure you've probably figured out if you watch my other content. And so I have a lot of swords. Because I'm hunting at a low level here, I'm using a rather low level gun. But you use that money to buy things, buy materials so you can fuel up your ships. You can also buy ships. So like this is a Sleipnir. It's a pretty basic, it's a spaceship technically, although you don't want to fly it in space, but it's extremely fuel efficient, so it's great for flying in atmosphere. But I had to buy that, and I bought that using Project Entropia dollars, which I got by depositing money. Another way you can do it is you can buy ammunition off the web shop, and then this is actually the way I recommend it. You buy ammunition off the web shop, you use it to hunt, and then you turn around and you use the loot and sell the loot to get PED, and you use that PED to buy what you need. It's a little, you know, that it seems like that's a long way to go to get to a place, but it's the most efficient because you're also getting skills, which is the other thing that you really want to look for in this game. This is a hardcore skills-based game, which means that every time you use a skill, it leads toward you getting better at it. So in order to get to this ranged laser, instead of straight levels or classes, you have professions. But the level of profession isn't like you gain X number of XP and suddenly you level up. Not in the literal sense. It doesn't have, the levels themselves don't have a specific connotation. Like I don't hit 100 XP and suddenly I get 2 extra strength points. It's just a marker of where you are in relation to other players. All returns, and sorry, I tangented there for a second. So the other two things about the real cash economy you have to keep in mind are that, one, Mindark, the owners of the game, have to pay their bills somehow. And I did some research on this. When you go to the repair terminal to repair your gear, so as you use stuff, it decays. So like I'm currently using this gun. It has a value. This is how much I can get for it if I just sell it to the trade terminal. Or when it's maxed out, this is how much value it has left. He was attacking someone. Never ever mob steal. We'll take him. When this runs to 0, the weapon breaks. Now this weapon does not have an L next to it, and I'll show you by comparison here for just a moment. So see how this has an L? The L means this weapon cannot be repaired. When it's done, it's done. I sell the dead weapon to the trade terminal for nothing, or for like 1 Project Entropia cent. I have to buy a new one. This one, on the other hand, does not have the L, which means I can repair it. You'll also find the majority of your armors do the same thing. Who is this guy? Shout out to Crazy Tapak. That's interesting. You meet some interesting characters in this game. When you go to the when you go to the repair terminal, you dump your stuff into it and hit repair. That's going to cost you money. It repairs all the decay on anything that's repairable. It costs you whatever the PED value of that is, and it's going to be exactly what the decay is. So like right here, I've decayed 41 Project Entropia cents. To repair this rifle will cost me exactly 41 Project Entropia cents. There's no guile here, there's no fees. It's just straight up, that's how it works. And then that money is pulled completely out of the game, and that's what's used to pay for the servers, for the developers. And it may sound like, well, you know, 40 Project Entropia cents, that's 4 cents. How the hell is that going to pay for all the stuff that it costs to run this game. Well, when you have 1 million players, and most of us do not play at this level on a regular basis. I won't say most. A lot of us do not play at this level all the time. Most of the time I'm playing at my level. My average repair bill right now is 77 ped per hour. That's $7. Now, because of loot, it's not a straight $7 in actual cost to me, but that's the rate at which that money gets pulled out of the game. And they are able to pay their bills. Sorry about that. I just realized I almost shot another person's mob. I didn't see the life going down until after I had already told it to shoot. And so that's how Mindark pays their bills. And it's what drives how the game continues to develop. The other unique piece about Entropia Universe is that it is not just run by a single developer. So Mindark owns the platform. It's not really a game, and I've mentioned this in other videos, my more philosophical think pieces, but this isn't just a game, it's a platform. And the Entropia platform has a huge amount of potential. So they opened it up to what they call planet partners. They're essentially franchises. And by rights, they classify themselves as separate games, even though they really aren't. It's kind of a unique system. So I'm not going to say it's not, but to the end user like us, we don't see there being different games. We see it as all one smoothly streamlined experience across the platform. But if we pop over to space here for a second, and then we're going to pop that out. So we are, I think this is Calypso here. Yeah, oh, that's Skyflail. Yeah, this is Calypso. This here is Calypso. This is the planet I'm on right now. It was the first planet in Entropia Universe, and it is the core planet for Entropia Universe. Basically, everything new that comes into this game is going to be tested on Calypso first because it's all developed by Mindark, and the majority of it is. And so this is where we are now, and this is where everything started. Up here, you have Monria, which is... Their contracts with Mindark is a little different than the others. They're not what you would call a true planet partner, but the moon of Monria is tied into Calypso itself, so it's kind of a unique franchise situation. It's like a franchise, but the original business is one of the partners in the franchise. Let's call it that. And they're doing a lot of good work there. If you decide to play, I would strongly recommend considering starting on Monria by visiting Monria's site and entering through that venue. Down here is Cyrene, which is owned by Creative Kingdom, and they're based in Thailand. Another outstanding planet. And in fact, I have yet to visit a planet I haven't enjoyed in some way, shape, or form. But understand, I haven't really spent a huge amount of time on all of them. I have spent significant time, of course, on Calypso, and I've spent significant time on Cyrene. And Cyrene is the planet I kind of quote-unquote call home, even though I didn't start on Cyrene. Now, if I had to choose one place that I could only play on, Cyrene would probably be it. Because I just love the way it feels. And then out here we have Arcadia, which has actually become its own system. Why did I get so many mobs at me? This is Mind Force, by the way. I'm using it to heal. Kind of looks like cotton candy clouds. That wax kind of poetic, actually. Arcadia is, at this point, I think the second most populous planet. They have done a fantastic job. They've also added a moon, so there's actually 2 planets there, so to speak. I have yet to visit the moon, but it's something on my list for 2020. There's a lot of good content on each of these planets, by the way. This is Next Island. And this is kind of a tropical paradise planet. I spent a bit of time there. I didn't explore as much as I would have liked, but I was kind of dumb and forgot to stock up on oil before I went there, so I was limited in the amount of... in how far I could go. This is Toulon, the smallest planet. They actually did not allow vehicles until recently, which is a very unique way of having to deal with and contend with playing on that world. They've removed that restriction now, and I do believe that's going to help drive people to go back to that planet. It's a beautiful planet. Absolutely gorgeous. It's owned by a company out of Jordan, excuse me, and they have just done a phenomenal job. And then this is Rocktropia. I almost called it Rock Island. Rocktropia, which is owned by John Never Die Jacobs, the so-called president of virtual reality. And he's based in California. So those are the planet partners and essentially the franchisers of the game. And so they've created this experience that we can now all enjoy. And I strongly recommend you give it a shot. If you're looking for more information, you can always Google search one of the planets, or you can go to entropiauniverse.com, explore things a little bit, read up about it. This game has won several awards and world records, and I think the world records are the most important. So the biggest world record it holds, the most important one, is the fact that it holds the world record several times, actually, because it's beaten itself a few times for most expensive digital property ever sold. Because it started with this asteroid is called Foma now, but it used to be called Club Never Die because it was owned by John Never Die Jacobs. And this sold for $100,000. Never Die turned around and sold it for $336. I believe that's what it was. And then Crystal Palace also sold for over $250,000, and is now actually broken down into shares. So now players own Crystal Palace, including myself. And so that's Entropia Universe. You come out here. There is storyline content, but realistically, when you come to play this game, you create your own story. This is the story of your avatar living in this world. And I think that's the attraction of it. It is tough, but it's fair. There's always something new to do, something new to learn. And so I would encourage you to explore not only my channel, because I have a large amount of Entropia Universe content, but I would also encourage you to go visit other YouTubers that have produced large amounts of Entropia Universe content. If you're still deciding on whether or not you want to give it a shot, I would encourage it. You can play for free. Free to play is extremely tough, but you can do it. So go out there, and I want you. I would suggest that you go visit Serial Overdrive, who is probably the most prolific YouTuber in Entropia Universe. And then next down the line would be Lore Spade. He has a lot of Entropia Universe content. You can also visit some people who have been on hiatus. I'm hoping to see more content out of them, although I haven't seen a lot of content out of them recently. One of them would be Delusionist. I believe his YouTube name is Zenexion. Either one, look him up. If you look up Entropia Universe, you're going to run across one of his videos. He's hilarious. A lot of his content's older. I don't think he's posted anything new in a couple of years, and there have been some definite updates since then, but it's worth watching. Raven Jade is another outstanding one. Make sure you go visit her. She has put out a lot of good content. If you want to see what high-level hunting looks like, go watch Raven Jade, because she always plays at the edge of her ability, and she is very good at doing it. Other people you can watch are Scotty C93. He's a relatively newer player. I don't know where he is in his Entropia career, but he is relatively new. He's relatively new to the YouTube scene as well, but he produces outstanding content. And Oval Dude. So those are my recommendations. Some of them will probably click with you, and some of them probably won't. They all have their own unique styles. Some of them I will take the time to watch, and others I have watched, but I'm like, I could take it or leave it. But that's just because I understand what I like for a style, and that may not be what you like for a style. They all do good stuff. So there, that's Entropia Universe in a nutshell, and now you get to see what a Sleipnir looks like. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Oh, by the way, this is the map of Planet Calypso. This is my dot. This is about a solid 3 minutes away. This is huge. And this is one planet out of 6. There's a lot of content here, guys. If you're considering trying Entropia Universe, give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? You decide you don't like it? Give it a shot. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. Have a good day.